You're live.
Good morning. Let's start the Commissioners meeting for April 21st, 2025. We will begin with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a quorum. All the commissioners are here today. We have the claims in Kingston County. Anybody have any changes or modifications there?
No concerns.
I'll move that we approve. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And for the record, we've had the monthly report of the clerk of the circuit court report, and we also have the one from the county treasurer. Anybody have any changes or issues there?
No, sir.
Okay, so just for the record, we'll put that in that we reviewed those. Same up here. It says due was 2005. Should that say 2025, or should it, or is that the name of the report?
I have to ask him, I don't have a clue.
So that was the only question I had. We have the minutes from the April 7th meeting. Any modifications?
No.
I'll move that we approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, same thing with payroll.
I'm good with it.
Commissioner Stedlow, you're good too? I'll
Yes,
move that-
sir.
Move that we approve the payroll as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Sir, can you keep it down, please?
Sorry.
First up for today, we have Mr. Leakin with the highway report.
I don't have a whole lot today. Alrighty, first of all, the freeze-thaw ordinance. As of April 15th, the freeze-thaw ordinance was lifted, which began January 15th of 2025. I made a visit down to the coal mine last week one day. I had another call from somebody saying that they was taking their big U trucks on 580, which I went down there and see once if they could use another haul road, but the haul road that they wanted to use, a guy had signed off on it, a landowner, and he will not let the haul trucks go through there. So they're going down 750, getting on 580, and then getting on the 700, which is the other haul road from way back when. And so he's just going on there empty. He's not taking any full loads or anything on there. So we ain't got a whole lot we can do about that. But as far as the other end,
What kind of truck is going?
big U trucks,
What's that
they
mean?
huge,
And,
big old end dumps where they haul shot rock and just,
They articulate in the middle of the bump, but then
Oh,
the
yeah.
side of the truck and they articulate in the middle.
they're just for mines and rock mines. Cool.
And what they were taking a certain path before, private property, the guys said no more.
Yeah, well, I guess they never was taking that road because it always was blocked off. And, well, before they was taking a different road so they didn't have to go on there, but now they're going a different route. So they have to, different part of the mine, I should say. And so, yeah, they have to take 580 in order to get over there.
There's a homeowner that said they don't like seeing them come through their brother house.
Yes, yeah, the same guy that is not signing. So as of now, he didn't sign. Hopefully he'll get a little sense and go ahead and sign because
And there's
The
no
only way
rule
it's gonna
against
get
the guy
fixed.
using the road, is there?
Huh?
There's no rule against the person using the road, is there?
well, it's just a lot of weight, lots of weight and
Could damage the road.
yeah. But they are empty and they are big wide tires. You know, a lot of square inch there, you know, versus a semi. You know, they just got a lot less. So hopefully it won't damage it. we'll see. So that is the reason why they're on there. And as far as the north pit, they are putting topsoil all around, and they're hoping to bring the hydro seeder in there this week to start sowing some grass. So hopefully we'll see some grass come up here in the next few weeks and keep it from washing. So, and then another thing, the last thing I have is Career Day. I had gave you that paper. Their Pine Ridge Elementary is having a career on wheels. They was wanting several different businesses to bring in a machine or a truck or something just to show the kids. And they're having that on. That they asked me if I would be willing to, and I said I would have to bring it up to you guys first. It'd be like an hour, I think it was, just to show their machine and demonstrate it for the kids. So
That's how you does it, what are you gonna take?
Well, one of the operators will be there, so.
What will they take?
What will they say?
Or-
They'll say who they are and who they work for and.
No, I mean, what kind of vehicle will they take?
Oh.
A dump truck, or are you gonna take like?
Depends what's in the area. I don't wanna run one from down Duff all the way up there, so, if the excavator's up there in the area, I might take it, which would be Steve's brother Al. Or else I might take a grader up there, or else I might just take a dump truck up there. So, might even send, Tim Lynch up there with a sign truck. So, and that would be good, that would be great for them to see, so if it's okay, I'll send one up there.
I think that's a good idea. Public outreach, so.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the use of county vehicles for the career vehicle day on May 15th.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that's all I got.
Thank you. Good morning.
You ready, Mark?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first thing on my list is the Community Crossing 2501 paving projects. We awarded those at the last meeting, and I have a contract for that. It's gone because we have CCMG and the bid form 96 that I need you guys to sign. We're assuming you probably need a motion to do that. Signatures, those two green hashes. It's the same contract we've done for the paving projects. I just changed the contractor's name and the amount and what it was.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the CalCar contract for community crossings 2025-01 paving projects and the accompanying required bid form 96.
Second.
Any discussion?
Sure.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay, next, the rejuvenation preservation projects. So we have historically in the past, I gave you guys this up there, it's the estimate.
Can you give us one more, right, we got mine, and then I'll pay
Okay.
attention to you.
Yep. I'm moving too fast. So I think Sandy needs to attest to the contract.
Yeah, I think to this one, maybe not to this one. Okay. Next, please.
All right, next thing is rejuvenation preservation projects. So certainly in the past, we have used RejuveTech. We want to continue that. We gave them several roads to rejuvenate. Can we go ahead and list them all off? So,
No.
okay. And the quote came in at $186,595.20. Now, the money is not appropriated yet, but with everything that's I'm leaving, I kind of want to help get Donnie going. So I was wondering if you guys would approve this pending council approval for appropriation.
So when you say that this is where they would be a unique product and we couldn't bid it against other people, would their competitors agree that their product is so unique that they?
So we have not been able to find a supplier that does this. There is, the Astro Materials does have a similar product, but they do not apply it. They'll just send it over in a tanker. If we do that, then we have to fly, we have to use our trucks. We have plenty of other work that this product here in this project is turnkey. We award it, say go for it, then they just send us an invoice and we're done. For our workload, this makes way more sense than trying to do with Astro Materials. And I think Astro Materials product was actually more expensive. You're here on the budget. It wasn't more expensive than what these guys were applied. So.
Okay.
You're
Just
gonna
seems like
sit- I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna use it.
when we were at road school, it just seemed like there were multiple people that sold similar rejuve kind of.
Right. As far as I know, they're the only ones that sell this particular product, and we've had luck with this product in the past. That's it.
Yep, just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions or comments for Mr. Weinhold? And just for, I guess for the public, we'll just say, we'll get 600 north, 100 south, 450 west, 400 north, and it's not necessarily the full road, but it's
Correct.
a portion of the road. So St. Anthony Road West, Ackerman subdivision, the entire subdivision, and 1075 south, 100 west. For a total amount of $186,595.20. I'll make a motion that we approve moving this forward to the county council for their approval for financing.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. You like that?
Yeah, no, that is your copy in case you need it. I got one here, and I want to give Donnie when I'm done. The last thing, it's not on your list, but we did advertise for additional appropriations. So I need your blessings for those as well. So out of MVH, unrestricted, we're requesting additional. I've sent you emails too, so you guys got copies of them, because this is one I forgot until I got halfway up here. For out of MVH, through the insurance, we're requesting additional appropriation of $10,000. Then out of highway MVH restricted for bituminous, which is all of our chip and seal liquids, we are asking $90,000 of additional appropriation. And then for paving projects, we are asking for additional $810,000 out of MVH restricted. This is how we usually do it because we don't know what we're doing next. So we go going for budget time in July. We don't know, we can't see the forecast ahead. So in order for us to just save it all back so we can get all of our projects in line, understand what we're doing, and then we get all the money appropriate. So.
Exactly how they do it.
So that's out of NVH. You want me to do local road and street, or do NVH, and then I'll give you local road and street.
MVH is fine.
Okay.
Is there anything besides those three?
Just those three, correct.
Anybody have any questions on the funds network? Okay.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve $10,000 from MVH unrestricted, $90,000, I guess a total of $900,000 from MVH restricted. So $90,000 from the highway MVH restricted and paving MVH restricted for 810. Is that what I'm correct there?
90,000 out of bituminous
Paving.
and 810,000 out of paving projects.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to keep up with that. You can't see that too well. So, anyways, it's a total of $910,000. Is that correct?
$910,000, correct?
So I'll move that we approve moving forward with the request for $910,000 additional appropriation. Okay, we got a first and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, and then out of local road and street, we are requesting additional appropriation of $70,000 into stone. We're requesting $200,000 into bituminous local road and street, and then we are asking for additional $200,000 out of paving projects, local road and street.
470,000 total.
Correct.
Anybody have any opposition or questions on that?
No.
I'll move that we approve them moving forward to council for $470,000 out of local road.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, and then this is my last commission meeting, so thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so
It's been a pleasure working with you guys. I won't make a big deal out of it, but thank you. 11 years. I'll be exactly 11 years.
as of,
My last day on May 2nd will be exactly 11 years. I find that kind of cool.
yeah, it's been wonderful working with you, and I hate to see you go, but I understand life makes changes sometimes.
Yep.
So, if you change your mind, we'd love to have you back. No, it's been wonderful working with you. You've been respectful to this board. You've been good to work with. You've always been respectful to the community. And I think people notice that whenever you care for your job and you care for them,
I did.
they
Very much
recognize
so.
that. And you know, in the, I don't know, Nick, how long we've been doing this, 8 years? Over 8 years that we've been here. So we've been with you for most of that time.
Right.
I don't know that there's ever been a complaint where you haven't treated somebody with respect and kindness and tried to do good things for them and for the county overall.
That was always my goal.
That's that's a big loss for us, but it's been wonderful working with you. So thank you. Anything else from the board?
Just thank you very much for what you've done.
Been a pleasure.
It
Good
really
pleasure.
has.
Very
Good
much.
luck to you.
Thank you. So,
And we do have for the highway section, we do have a special guest, the Superintendent Emeritus, Bird is in attendance. Did you have anything you'd like to say today?
Yeah, I was gonna beg to differ just a bit, but, wish him luck and, best wishes. We'll do fine.
You don't have anything to say that's counter to what I said?
He does, he doesn't want to. I do, but, yeah, this is,
You can write it down and put it in the record.
Give him a piece of paper.
We will miss you. It doesn't want no more.
Yeah, a pad, I need a pad, yeah.
Yeah, it's really gonna be missed, Frank, that's for sure. You do a lot for our office, especially inventory and all that kind of stuff, so we will miss you.
We work well together.
Sure you didn't want to change your mind, Frank?
Yeah, if you want to change your mind, it'd be great. I tried that already.
Wish you would.
It didn't work.
All right. We're a few minutes ahead of schedule here. Let's see if there's. Check our. All right, so one thing that was under miscellaneous discussion items are the BIS digital meeting recording equipment. A request was made 2 meetings ago to ask the folks to give us a 2-camera streaming solution. We had a single camera streaming solution previously. So I think there's still some things to be worked out on the agreement if we decide to do it. But the short version is they have if I understand right, their solution is a single dome camera somewhere back there that would just take a shot of the whole room. They would have audio, they would have microphones in front of each of us, a microphone up on the lectern, and they'd have some recording equipment that would probably be back here. So that would be the solution cost there with $19,882.52. And the guy that I've been talking with for years on this, Eric Young, when he sent the updated proposal, he said, and this is my last day, so here's the other
Oh,
guy.
my goodness.
So I don't know what happened, but he's not gonna be working there anymore, so they did introduce me to the new guy. But he did prepare a proposal before, I guess, the consensus on his last day. And 2-camera solution is,
So That's a one camera solution?
The one camera solution was the 19,882.52. So you get one camera and all the equipment that goes with it, and you get 8 microphones, the camera, cabling, the installation. Okay, that was my problem. I printed 2 of these, and that one's for you guys. I was wondering why my notes weren't on it. So one of the questions that I had with them, well, first off, the price was $22,647, so you're looking at another, about $3,000 more. $22,647.35. So in that case, the solution would have a camera behind us and one down there, a dome camera, one that would look at the speaker, one that would look at us. One of my questions is how does it transition? If it's an automatic thing by who's speaking or if it's a button. As I mentioned at our last meeting, Davies County has their solution, and I watched another one of their meetings, and it really appears that somebody has to manually go like this and move, because they have a single camera. So they had, let's just say that the camera was there and it was on us, and then when that person spoke, it seemed like, I don't know if it was electronic or somebody manually did it, that they moved it over to the speaker. So the 2 camera solution, I don't know how it would switch. Because if we had a 1 camera solution, we don't want to have somebody that has to manually.
Well, I know at Davies County, when I was there last week, they have a desk over here that they sit behind, and that's where it's operated from.
And who does it?
The auditor's office has people over there that do it.
I don't know if anybody in the auditor's office wants to be our camera person and come over and have a second
It's a
person.
waste of a day to have somebody, to me, to have somebody sit there to do that, but they, like, if you had it here, I don't sit here during council meetings. So, I sit over there.
So I guess are we interested in continuing to move forward with one of the 2 with neither of them? Do we want to ask the council if they want to pay for it? So I think the audio, my experience with Davies County was it was clearer. The picture was better. It's probably going to be a little more reliable. Sometimes we have issues with it coming up. But it still
Well, the
wasn't,
issues
it
with
still
it
wasn't
coming
very
up was
loud.
not that, it was the internet, now they fixed that.
Okay.
It was our access point.
So, but what I was gonna say is when I was watching them, it still wasn't very loud. And I don't know what makes it loud. Because sometimes you watch a YouTube video and it's very loud. You can make it as loud as you want. Sometimes this one was still, when the air conditioner came on, it was blowing. I couldn't hear it very well. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do an upgrade, was to make it, so you would hear better.
I'm all on board for an upgrade. Like, I feel like that price is just, I don't know, $20,000 for 2 cameras and an audio system, it just sounds high. Haven't, dug in deep on this, but I know there's other solutions out there, that companies use. The Owl came up, I think it's a Google solution for like Teams meetings type thing, and it switches automatically and does your audio and everything. But long story short, I think we need to improve over what we have, but I don't know if this BIS 22 or $20,000 proposal is the right answer.
Okay. So 1 year ago, Ultimate Technologies was another one that came in and I met with. They were at $21,873. And that's a single camera solution. The previous solution for live streaming from BIS was $30,000. I don't know what they had different there. So I've had multiple quotes from both Ultimate Technology and BIS. This one was $45,000. I'm with you, because I thought every time I got a quote, I kept thinking these are ridiculous.
Well, I guess my thought is, we've got 2 extremes here. We've got like this Cadillac BIS $20-some thousand thing, and we've got maybe $200 wrapped up in what we're using now. 400. Okay.
Plus your laptop, so give it a little bit.
So, yeah, somewhere in between there's gotta be a better solution than what we have, but I don't think we necessarily have to go $20,000 deep to get it.
That's what I used to think.
So,
Because we had Ryan Craig have a guy, the local guy, he was their vendor.
That's right,
He came in,
that's right.
our thought was that we could get something, hey, $8,000, we should be able to do this. This guy came in, we went up in the ceiling, we looked around, and when he came back, he was at $20,000 too. And he's been non-responsive after giving us,
Right, they just can't beat us, can they?
so even the local guy who I'd have preferred, I wish he would have been, because he does work for local companies and things.
You said that you found,
I sent you a link to the Owl Labs,
okay,
and it might be an improvement. I think it was about $1,100, and it's made for meetings, so, I don't know that would be the answer, but I feel like there's probably some product out there that would work for us a little better than what we have. Even if we each had our own microphone or something and worked kind of like we do now, I just feel like there's gotta be something a little better than what we have. And I would love for the public who does watch the YouTube videos to be able to see the person speaking to us and not just us. I think that would be nice as well. But I'm not a tech guy.
Do you have when I do it, I usually try to have the podium at least
It's
in
in
the
there.
front.
It's in the frame.
Yeah, I think from here, we usually get the backside a little bit, and when you do it, it's
I'm
kind
on
of
the
a
side,
profile.
so I'm over here.
Commissioner Stefano, what are your thoughts?
I think we need to research it. The link that Nick sent us, I think we need to research it. I think 22 was a little bit on the high side. So I think I know you've done your research, Chad. I know you've done your research, but let us look at this other one.
No, it surprised me every time, and all three vendors I've talked to here, this is the cheapest one.
Sure.
Frank, do you think that we could get a longer cord on our,
Probably
to
could.
get
I
it
was,
up here?
I'm
Would that help?
looking for wireless, Bluetooth
Feels like the
speakers.
microphone?
We could almost give each one of our commissioner and council members a laptop to use and do our meeting through like Teams or Zoom with membership and broadcast that for cheaper than what we could these cameras.
Then people would have a meeting of, whatever, 4 or 5 squares, or whoever, however many we put in.
Yeah.
Unless that would be too much of a drag on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna let it sit, because I think I put as much of my time into it that I was gonna put into it.
I agree.
So if you, either of you have something you wanna do differently, I would be, if one of you two was in favor of this, I'd be happy to move forward with it. If neither of you are, I'm happy to let it go.
I'm
So,
gonna research this other one first.
okay, we'll let that one, we'll just. see
We
if
do appreciate the work.
No, that's okay, and I'm not trying to like complain about it, but I think that, yeah, you can keep that, I've got 2 copies. I just don't know if we're gonna find something better. Which seems, I'm with you, it seems ridiculous. The first time when we got one that was like $48,000, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, if we were doing it all day, every day, and it was, yeah. Okay, that's fine. And it would be different too if we didn't have something that was already working, because we're required to have it done by July 1st, but we've been doing it for years already. Okay, let's talk about financial software.
All right. See you next week.
Put this into it.
Ms. Bueno, can you hop up here while they're setting up? Please. So which one of these is what we're gonna be charged to pay you?
Take all that for a while. Change that. So I'll explain it to you later.
Okay, because what I was talking to them, so don't worry about this as a thing. Okay.
I'll talk about it.
What I was gonna say was, is one thing I can see that would be.
Is it on?
Would be, I could, try that, start out there.
There you
No,
go.
what am I looking at? I don't get things, man. What is 10 minutes worth of your time for?
So I think that's,
For that company?
so that's where I want to go into detail with that and also into, that's why I pulled it.
Does that just
I was gonna talk to you about it and I was like, oh, wait, there's.
Oh, I didn't know you had it on your.
I had it on there and I
Oh,
pulled it
didn't
out,
know
that's
that.
why I sent it to you guys, so you guys could see it and I changed it, so I'll talk to you about it.
That'd be fine. Okay.
Can you guys see it?
Proudly share with my friends. I don't know what it is for early next year. If I pass that out, I probably have like 4 of them. Bag.
Supposed to put in their memory book.
Sarah, how
Yes, good morning,
Morning.
Craig Gralick, Treasurer's Office. Kind of circle back to the camera and all that. My opinion is, as a guy who watches it, I feel like most important of the challenges that I've always had is the volume. And you guys already know that, but that's something that I think has always been a challenge is this seems adequate, but if there's a way to work on the volume and the clarity of that, that would be most important, in my opinion. Enough of that. I'm
What
not,
I find is, would I listen to it, earbuds or earphones? Help.
okay,
I don't listen to it just
right.
like this in the room. I put them in and it helps me,
Mm-hmm.
if that helps the public.
Yeah,
If there's more than one person trying to watch at the same time though, that's not a solution.
right. Yeah,
No.
so,
And we
okay,
know that it's must-see TV. A lot of people get friends together to watch.
Yeah.
Right?
yes, watch party
Right.
for the commissioner, that's usual, yeah, that's standard. Yes.
You and I will watch these things.
Yeah.
Mhm, yes. Get your popcorn and let's put it together, so, all right, so hey,
Back to
all right, back to business at hand. So Sandy, I believe, sent out the presentation to you guys, I believe it's Thursday, hopefully you were able to look at it or anything. I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to review it before I just threw this on you. And ultimately, what I'm here today is just really give you facts. That's what this is about. It's not we're not making changes at this point. All it is I want to show you the challenges that seem to be coming forward. It appears. So that's where we're at. So I put on here what we currently use, our possible vendors, and moving forward. So what we currently use, we use Harris as our financial, and Chad is probably familiar with this. So we also we monitor our funds. So there are 194 funds that the county has, referring to the county highway. They have, I don't even know how many funds you guys have, a lot. There's different funds. Every department, health department has a lot of funds. So we have our Harris financial software that we utilize to reconcile, make deposits, make withdrawals, write checks out, and all those sort of things. So that's what we're doing. And then the auditor's office uses a different software to monitor all the funds as well. Because at the end of every month, our goal is to make sure that we balance. That's ultimately what and we have auditors in here. They came in on Thursday, told us they're pretty content and pretty happy with our side. I'm not sure, I'm sure they'll say the same thing about yours as well.
Would that be a benefit that you use a different one than they do?
We're one of the only counties in the state that have 2 different ones.
Right, but is it a benefit?
Well,
In other words, yours isn't meshing with hers every day. You just kind of look at them.
They're both independent and they both balance.
Right.
yes, is that a positive or negative? I don't know. You know, and we've had 2 sets of auditors come in and I've tried to ask that same question and they haven't really answered the question.
They're not gonna say.
They're not going to say, hey, you should do it differently, or they're not going to say the way you're doing it is fine. They just,
As long as they match, they're happy.
correct.
Got
And so that's pretty vague, which is the frustrating part. You know, I guess we're looking for guidance if there's a different way to do things. That is, but we're getting the result. Ultimately, we're getting the result that we need, and that's what's most important. We're balancing Everything seems fine. So a year ago with Harris, that's been over a year, we've had problems where our software it'll freeze up. So when we're reconciling, and then all of a sudden it freezes, so we're not sure that everything go back, so then we have to restart the computer, go back to it. All right, and then we have to check. So we've had some frustration with that. We've gotten with Matrix to see if they can fix it. So Matrix, I feel like they've done all the things they can. Harris feels like they've done all the things they can. So not that they're both blaming each other, but we haven't come up with the solution yet. And it's been over a year. So we've had a ticket that's been out there for over a year that continuously doesn't get fixed. I think the only time the communication that goes on is when I say something. I kind of just say, hey, where are we at on this? And then we'll get some communication for a couple of days, and then nothing gets done again. So that's kind of where we're at with our current software. Now, are things fine? Absolutely. And we'll see here's the affordability. And also one other thing is we've had the software since 2001. So it's been working just fine for us. We've had the issue last year, and our annual cost is $6,800. So it's what you're going to find out, $6,800 is very affordable. So $6,800 is where we're at right now that it costs every year that we're paying Harris to help us with our financial software. And so another software that we use is MVP. The auditor's office uses it, so the treasurer's office and the assessor's office. So MVP is for tax software. So every parcel, I think Sandy's area puts out all the parcel numbers.
MVP Tax does all of our property tax. Keeps all the parcels, helps us with settlement, helps us with that, all the other stuff. They're not part of the financial bookkeeping. It's the tax program. They're two separate.
Now, and I know that on the agenda, I put in here financial software. So the MVP we're not really truly talking about that, but I think it's important for you to know the software that we use to run the department. That's where that's the reason why I'm throwing this in here. So we've had no issues with MVP. Things are great with that as well. Our annual cost for us three departments to utilize it, over $75,000, $75,171. And so we're not here really to talk about MVP, but I just think it's important for you to know the software that we use in our department. Okay? All right. And then the auditor's office uses United Systems, and that's Sandy's area. Payroll.
Accounts payable, accounts receivable, general ledgers.
Yes.
That's our financials.
Right. So, granted, that's not the treasurer's office. That's Sandy's area, but I feel like it's important for you to just kind of put it all together. All right.
So that would be comparable to the Harris, you're saying?
Yes.
For your work, in
For
your
our
office, that's your
yes.
financials, for theirs, it's Harris.
Yes. And we've had them for about 26 years. I think that went live
We went back to
in 2000. Sandy and I had a conversation because I was shocked. You remember the whole Y2K thing? You know, the year 2000, things were gonna kind of just go awry. I mean, that had to be a pretty big deal
It wasn't-
in my opinion, for county government to think, okay, hey, we're gonna start a new software system here, and it's a payroll and everything else too. That had to be a little bit of a shocker for everybody, I would think, back then. I don't remember 26 years ago, it's not what that was at, but anyway, so that's about $5,000, just a little less than for Sandy to have that software.
Yep.
So again, things are still good. All right, so this is a possible vendor. So, and one thing that you'll see on the next slide is the amount of users that we have. So anyway, so we brought in Lao and we brought in Exsoft. We brought in two different vendors to come in and do a presentation for the financial part of our department. So Exsoft, I don't have them up here, but Exsoft, they're in the really early stages. They're really, they're big more on tax than they are with the financials. And we felt like, so we didn't ask for a quote because we don't want to be, we didn't want to be one of the new people. And-
The only county they have live is Morton right now,
Correct.
Martin?
Martin.
Martin, yeah. So we didn't ask for a quote. We didn't ask for any information. They did a presentation to us. It was interesting, like anything else, like a new vehicle. It's, looks good, smells good, all that good stuff. So,
They were still building it when they showed it to us.
correct. So we kind of, we appreciate the presentation they did. And then we also went to Lau. So Lau has been around, I think just as long as Harris. They've been out there. So this is a third generation company. And they've done, we brought in Sandy's department as well to kind of come in and do a financial presentation. It turned into more of an auditor presentation, which is okay. That's just part of it, because I feel like the only way that we change is if Sandy jumps on as well. If there's benefits for Sandy, then, which goes against what we're doing right now. We have two different vendors. Well, this here would be one vendor. And I feel like that's what, when you talk to the auditors, the state auditors that come in yearly to us, there's always, it seems like Lau is a up and coming vendor that everybody's been using.
So the Lao, would they be with 3 departments as well?
No,
Assessor wouldn't be on it, just the 2 of you?
yes.
Now, the assessor's not on financials now. They're only on MVP tax. And that's
So this would just be a replacement for your
This is
system
just-
in Harris.
That's correct.
financials only.
Yes. I know Sandy's, they went to Davis County, which she had mentioned earlier that she went to a different county, and I'll let you speak on that, if that was valuable or not, or, I mean, they saw different things that,
Well, we went with the intent to see them do the process of the programs, but they were finished. So we just kind of sat there with them. And the girls got to sit with them and talk to them about it, but we didn't get to actually see them doing it because they were finished. So, because they finished their payroll before we got there. They finished their claims before we got there. And we wanted to see them do it. So it was just unfortunate, but they did get to sit with them and talk to them.
mhm. So if we combine the two together, let's say hypothetical, if we would combine the two, the cost is way higher now compared to what we're currently paying. $219,000, we'll round it up. Let's
We
say
had to buy the
$220,000.
program.
Yeah, we have to buy the program plus an annual maintenance fee of $53,000, which together, the two is, what is it, 10,000? So we're, it's a lot larger. So now, does it do more things? I mean, possibly, there's always, but right now, things are working fine. But, so when I go to the next slide, so here's the one, I guess, that is most concerning to me. So in the yellow shows the amount of counties that are using Harris. So, and I have no information that tells me that things are, I mean, but I guess if I have this information and I don't share it with anybody, and then hypothetical, Harris comes in and says, hey, you got 6 months and we're gonna, and then I think I come here and then I tell you, well, how come you guys didn't know that? I mean, that's what you would ask me. And I said, well, I did know it, but I didn't know how to. So this is what this is. This is so right now in 2022, there was 27 counties that had Harris, and in 2025, they're down to 13. And then Lau shows in 2022, 56 counties, and currently 70. Actually, I do have updated information at 72, but I don't know if that took 2 away from Harris or what, and that's irrelevant at this point. So what we get is I get a directory every year when we go up to our treasurers conference, and that's what this information is about. So I don't want to update and make it 72. I just want to go by the information that I have. It just stays consistent. So is it possible that, I don't know, I'm not trying to be hypothetical, but Harris, this is alarming, I guess, if I'm in sales and I see things like this.
Harris hasn't made any comment to you of things aren't
No.
going well, or things are going great, or?
No. So, I mean,
Harris in other states and they're doing well other places, is that one of the issues, that this isn't their focus, or is it something else you think?
I I don't know. I know they're in other states, so I'm taking for granted that, no news is good news. I've always wanted to be positive, and
And in all fairness, we're the only county that's ever had United Systems in Indiana, and we're fine, and it's functioning, so. But they're big in Kentucky and Tennessee, so, like you said, other states, so they're not going anywhere, we're just the only one that has them.
If you two agree and we agree and the council agrees and we want to run with something new, what's the update time?
what's the updated time?
Uptake, like if we
okay.
say we want to go with Lao, and we say that today, how long does it take Lao to get up and running here in our county?
I don't know. I think, we'd have to present that to them and see what they say, because right now we're still in tax season, so it would be, I don't know.
I didn't know if this was like a month process or a
Oh,
year
oh.
process.
I think
No.
it would take months.
Yeah, I would say it's more of 6 months to get there, because they do a lot of behind the scenes. They do a lot
Just to
of,
convert data, to change
they
over,
grab-
to
so-
learn the new system, it
Yeah.
would be months.
to my understanding, they would grab all of our funds and input all that in there at their place. They do a lot of behind the scenes to kind of help us with our smooth transition. And also on there, they have the amount of hours that they're gonna be here. So I know that Sandy and Laurel have, been through a transition before in the past, and I know it wasn't as good. Lau presents it to us that it's not gonna be as difficult as it was back then. Like anything else, when you learn something new, we're gonna have hiccups. I'm not trying to be naive about it. I mean, it's not gonna be as smooth as they present it, which is okay. They're supposed to present it smoothly. That's what they're gonna do. But I think with them being here would always be, who doesn't, that's what we want. But, I don't think we don't have to go off site. I think that's what you guys had to do. Then you have to go off site to do some training.
No, they can't.
No? Okay.
So is there more on your slides?
I do. I have another slide. So, and this is the MVP, which is not what we're talking about, but I just feel like it's important to bring it up as well. So in 2022, there were 42 counties that were using Lao for the tax software. And currently in 2025, 52 counties. MVP, which is what we currently use in 2022, had 31 counties. Right now, we're down to 14. There's 14 counties. Now, I know they could go in other states.
They're big in Ohio right now.
So,
And I am on their advisory board, and they're not going anywhere.
right. So I just giving information. That's what this whole thing is intended for. So I don't want I think there's a lot of information. The price is so, it's just painful to see that price. When we're paying $10,000, things are going fine. They really are. Till we're in a situation where things are not as, where we have problem after problem, then is that too late? I mean, that we missed the boat. I don't know. But I'm not saying that we're not there. Things are fine. But I feel like it's important information to provide.
After the American Rescue money came, a lot of counties changed
Software.
softwares because they had money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not seeing there's not a loud glaring advantage to going with that.
Ultimately, no. I mean, can we do things differently?
There's a lot of
budget
bells and
items.
whistles that it has that our system doesn't have.
Yeah,
But you're gonna pay for those bells.
yeah. Budget items, ledgers, projections. There's some HR pieces in there that could jump in there as well. But
But I like the idea of being on the same program.
yeah, they're okay with us being on sector because we're still getting the results that they want.
And we kind of like, I'm not gonna speak for you, but Laurel, we kind of like being on different ones because we know we're in balance. We're doing the process, they're doing the process, and it's matching.
You're both doing independent work,
Coming to account, yes. I'm not doing all the work, pushing it to them, they're pulling it in and saying, okay, it's right.
So neither of you are here saying, please do this is just critical, we're at a breaking point. You're saying, there may be a breaking point coming, it's trending in a way that looks like something might happen. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. That's what the information that I want to present, that it could be. Now, Sandy and Laurel, I know they're retiring at the end of next year, so they got a year and a half and some change. And that doesn't mean anything, I don't, but
No, I mean, in my opinion, if y'all change and I'm gone, I can't come back and help you if you need help, because I won't know the system.
right.
But that's not a reason to stay.
Before I knew if he was gonna come in and say, I really wanted this, or this is just informational, my thought was, stick with it another 2 years, milk it for, I mean, if it's functional, milk the $12,000 a year of cost instead of, what was it, $50,000 a year? And let's just say if they gave us the software,
Right.
we didn't have that $200,000 up front.
Okay.
Milk it for 2 more years, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it yet. When it breaks,
Well, it's gonna be a learning curve for every department, because all your fund numbers will change, all your account, I mean, it will change. It'll be a learning curve.
so that's where I was when I came in. I don't know, either of you have comments.
And nothing convinced me that we need to switch right now. Especially that cost. I mean, if costs were not an issue, God, I mean, I would probably say do as you please, but, it's a lot of money.
Right. And I don't have a perpetuation
I've not seen
fund.
any big benefit.
Yeah, we don't have a perpetuation
Yeah,
fund.
we don't have a perpetuation fund like the other departments that have the ability to kick in some money. Yeah.
No question.
But I felt like it was important to present this so that if something does happen, that we can say, hey, we were prepared, we saw it coming, but we made our choice to, and it's okay. I mean, like I said, things are fine, they really are. There's nothing that would say that we have to change.
I almost feel like this trend was happening 10 years ago,
Right.
where they were even higher, whole foods were even higher. So I don't think it's a new thing.
Yes. Like I said, during the pandemic, a lot of people just had money and changed.
Well, we might come back in 2 years and Xsoft has, 16 clients and,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of
Well,
rumors,
well,
these people are going out of business, and then I mean, I don't think they're all true. It's a sales thing.
Yeah, I think you did a wise thing to come in and give us a warning, because I think another department, when they came in one time with a $250,000 ask, it was like, wow, So at least here, we've got an idea of what the future may hold.
Right. And that was the intent. So,
Yeah.
any other questions regarding Lau, Harris? Sandy, any that I failed to mention?
Unless you have an ask, you
I
have
mean, the
something
thing
you want us
is
to act on.
Since it's a unique thing that we're on different systems, he really can't switch without us switching, I don't think.
Right. I think it'd be beneficial if we would both switch. We tried to do that's why we brought XHealth in, see if they would just give us our financial portion and leave Sandy's alone, but that's not how all the counties are doing it. They're all,
That's not how those programs are set.
so the way we're doing it is still unique. I think the auditors have found that. They said I think we're one of two. They didn't say the other county that has two different softwares.
They're designing it for the most people they can sell it to.
Correct.
Mr. Brogg, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have grass on the roadways, ordinance 2025-02. We discussed in the previous meeting, Freeman was here, he gave a comment on that last time. Did you have something you wanted to say again this time? Did you have something you wanted to address the board again this time, or?
No, I don't have anything else to say. I'm hoping everything will turn out. I have not talked to the guy in Indianapolis about the state law.
You have or you have not?
He has not contacted me yet. So we're waiting on that.
Yes. So while I'm reviewing this, either give a comment?
Can I see that one more time?
Yes.
I just want, I got about half dozen phone calls that were not in support of doing this. And I just think there's too many scenarios out there. First of all, I just want to say, I do not think people should mow their grass onto the roads. I don't think that should be a habit and everybody should do it. That said, I think there's certain times when it's necessary to mow your grass onto the road, and that's the only option you got. And I think you should get it off the road as quickly as possible, but that doesn't mean we need to create a law, or ordinance in this case. As a matter of fact, I had someone send me a thing from, it's called TIPS, and I shared this with you guys too. It's Together Improving Processes and Safety, and it's about mowing your lawn, and it says to determine the safest course of action, and number one was mow in the direction of oncoming traffic. It results in less impact of debris if debris is thrown out and provides better visibility. And I just think we're not going by data, there's not a university study or a municipal study that somebody came in and said, hey, look, the state of Indiana studied this and we could have prevented X number of accidents if we'd have just kept grass off the road. All the data that's out there is by attorneys' offices. Tiger Law comes to mind. I did do my research and try to find some kind of study, and I told myself, if I can find this study, I'm going to support this thing. There's no study out there by any municipality, state, university, that says this is dangerous. Now, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying if it is as bad as it is, you would think somebody out there would have done the homework on it and had this information. So essentially, we got you standing in front of us asking us to pass an ordinance, and we're just gonna take your word for it. And then I get these phone calls from several individuals telling me that, hey, don't do this. I have to mow in that direction. I got cars coming to my house at 60 miles an hour, and I don't feel safe with my back to traffic. And I get that because that's my situation. And I guess before I just looked at this as my situation, and hey, there's probably several other people in the county that feel the same way. So I guess my thought would be, if this is already a state law, what we need to do is tell our sheriff's department that, hey, if people are abusing this or are doing this, blatantly throwing big clumps of grass out in the road, we need to have them stop and give a warning or whatnot. We don't need to pass a new ordinance. What we need to do is follow the law that's on the books. And if it says not to put grass in the roadway via state law, we don't need a county law that says the same thing.
Right.
So I'm not in support of doing an ordinance. I do not think people should be throwing their grass out in the road. But I think like I said, there's situations where it might be necessary and they should go back and remove it if they can. I'm on a state highway, mowing out my ditch at the bottom of the hill. It's a really steep hill. And when I mow towards traffic, I can see if I need a bail or not. And I've push mowed it this last week. And I feel like I got cars that come by and they want to see how close they can get. They can scare me. And I'm not joking. I feel like some of them like to play chicken with me, and I'm standing behind a push mower, and they're in a several thousand pound vehicle. So I just think there's too many scenarios out there where maybe this isn't a good idea.
Okay. Commissioner Stephens?
I got several calls on it as well, asking not to, of course, to make it the ordinance. I don't agree with fining someone. Common courtesy goes a long way. If people are putting it on the roads, they need to go back and clean it off. If our sheriff's department goes by, be aware, go talk to them, give them a warning, like Nick said. That's kind of where I stand with it. So. And helmets go a long way.
Mr. Schneider, did you confirm that when we looked at this previously, there is a state code that says something along the lines of no hazardous material may be placed and maintained in a public roadway?
When we looked at it, we were testing my memory, but I didn't see what it come up with.
Okay. I thought that it was.
There's something on there.
So, to the same point, I had at least one guy that stands out in particular to me about this ordinance as well. I supported it many years ago, and that last meeting I was supportive of it as well. And he said this guy in particular said, I've ridden a motorcycle for 50 years. You slow down to the situation, no different than in a vehicle or a semi, and he doesn't see grass as a problem. It's an operator situation to handle and determine themselves, no different than ice or snow or wet roads. So that was I thought somebody that was a motorcycle rider who said, there's hazards on the road and you gotta watch out for them. So I think I'm on the same boat as these folks. I think it's terrible if somebody shoots it out there and leaves it out there, especially if that is what you've shown us. Another thing that somebody brought to my attention that I didn't think of as a potential problem is, like in front of my house and in front of many houses, whenever you build a subdivision, or you're in a subdivision, or you're on the city, we'll say the city of Jasper. I live in the county, but I'm within the 2 mile jurisdiction. They make you give up a certain amount of right of way for public use and easements. So like if the highway department wanted to put a road in, they can chop up the first 5-10 feet of my property, put the road in and a shoulder. So right now I maintain it, I mow it, and I take care of it, and many people do. And I had a guy say, if you're going to potentially fine me, I'm not going to maintain that anymore. I mean, why would I take a risk of shooting this out here? It's I maintain it because I want my neighborhood to look pretty, but if there's going to be a chance that I'm going to get fined, I'll just wait for the county to come through and mow it once a year, twice a year. So that was another thing where there may be a secondary issue that maybe that I hadn't thought of before. That you can just say, I'm not going to maintain it then. If the county's going to fine me, let them maintain it. So I guess that's kind of what else I said. And after hearing our comments, do you have anything additional to say? Or does anyone in the audience have any opinion on it? No?
Well, I do know that if they do make an ordinance, we will probably have to get blowers on our tractors too.
Right.
And that's a big chunk of money. More maintenance and everything else, more time going back and forth, being on the road where over a hill or whatever, you're gonna be on the road across the center line. It's just more of a liability. I hate to say it because I think Brent here, 2 days after you was in here, he came through a spot, it was like 2.5, 3 inches. And our mower guy up there, it was on Hickory Hill Road. Same place, I believe, but it was like that much. Did he come back and mow it off? I don't know, but people ought to have consideration, like you said.
A little respect,
Yes.
consideration.
And as far as what Nick said, people are jerks out there. I honestly think, my experience every day out there on the road, they see how fast and see how close they can get to you. They're on there. And
It's probably a small percentage, but there's enough of them that it scares the heck out of them.
Yeah.
Mr. Schneider? Anything? We like our legal services fast around here. So regardless, I think it sounds like there doesn't seem to be, is there support? Anyone would like to move forward with making this an ordinance, county ordinance at this time? So it sounds like there's a lack of support for moving forward with an ordinance at this time.
Okay, well, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any other final comments on that, or that's good there? Okay, so we have a St. Henry Run Walk Road Closure Request, Chris Lindar.
I don't have a blue plate anymore, so I might get a ticket. I've got a red one.
Oh, nice.
Doubles.
It's because it's that stupid Chiefs play.
Yeah, I'll charge you. Good to
Take
see
care,
you.
Take care.
Bye, Steve.
Good morning, thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Chris Linder. I'm with the St. Henry Community Club. And with our fest this year, we're going to have a 4-mile run walk.
Sure.
We've had it in the past, but after COVID, it kind of quit until now we want to start it up again. The course, here's a flyer and the course. You guys want to take a look at that. It's going to start at the Bungalow Bar on 1100, County Road 1100. It would go east to County Road 100, then go north to County Road 1000, and then west to County Road 200, and then back to 1100, and then finish at the bar. So it's just that big square there. It's going to be June 14th. We want to start the race at 8 o'clock. Registration would be at 7. But from 8 to probably 9:30 at the latest, we would like to have permission to close those 4 county roads at various points. It won't be the whole time, so if no one's on 100 or more, traffic can flow through there. If no one's on 1,000, same deal. We just like to have safety for everybody. We're gonna have the local fire department's gonna be there watching traffic as well on each of the corners. The ambulance service said they'll be there. I need to talk to the sheriff's department. They haven't returned my phone call. Having somebody on the site as well. But yeah, I just want your all permission to make sure we're allowed to do that again. Also talk to the highway department if we can get road signs or something like that, so.
Highway Department, you have any comments on the request?
No, it should be fine. We should have signs. So,
Have you turned in a liability form, or is our name on your?
I talked to our insurance company, they were fine with everything that we were wanting to do. They said as long as it's not over 200 people, it doesn't matter. So from our side, for our insurance purposes, they would.
So I think what we normally require, and Sandy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is whenever I say I come up and it's day of the event, I sign up to be participant.
Yes.
Usually we have an indemnification clause that says that the runner won't sue St. Henry, it won't sue the county.
I have one from the past, I don't remember what it all said. I know it says the community club and DuBois County
Yeah, I see that.
and the state of Indiana. This is a previous one, but we will use the same form for the sign-ups.
Do you need this route for signs? Do you need this info for signs?
You'll see it.
Kind of anticipate how many you need or when you need.
Thank you. No, I don't think I have any issues with it, with the request. I don't.
No, I don't. I think it's fine. I give it to Donnie, that way he's got a view of
Mhm.
possibly how many signs.
I was thinking we got 8 in the past,
8.
I think, for each corner, then kind of looking both ways.
Okay.
And then just, if we can get, I'll have to look through my list again to make for sure how many we got, but
Okay.
we usually borrow the signs and, cones.
And if you just want to stop out there and let them know
Okay,
what you want, and she'll put it down on the list. And
Okay.
So that'd work.
I will do that.
So does the highway department deliver those, or they gotta come pick things up?
In the past, I picked them up.
They come pick them up, sign a list, how many they got, and then they'll bring them back a day or two later.
Sounds good. Can I give you this? I don't have a business card with me, so I wrote down my information. Would you mind email me a copy of the registration?
Yes,
I think we may have actually had it, but if you don't mind,
yeah,
that way I'd like to have your contact information too. But I'll move that we approve the request for the road closure for the St. Henry Run and Walk.
I'll second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Much appreciated. Mr. Wilson is here with communication tower request.
Stuart Wilson from DuBois County 911. I'm here about the email that I sent, I think it was last week, requesting permission to have a security fence constructed around the communications tower at the jail complex. I laid out the reasons in the email for security and liability concerns that I would have. I have spoken to the low bidder, K&W's PV Fencing out of Campbellburg. I had a hard time finding a fencing company. First of all, that is there's just not a lot of people out there.
Challenge, isn't it?
And the quotes one quote was significantly higher than what I expected, but I'm sure the gentleman does fine work. I trust this vendor. He's done work at the sheriff's office when the jail project was underway. He also does a lot of work for Jasper Parks Department, Greater Jasper School District. Barbest Foods does all their fencing. There's just a lot of local businesses, and he's very reputable. I trust that he would be a good vendor to use. That doesn't cross the hurdle of the cost of it. Like I spelled out in the email, I kind of volunteered Tom Blessinger and I to take care of some groundwork with making it easier for maintenance moving forward. Rather than hire a landscaping company to rock the inside of the fence, we'll take care of that. I'm not sure how, we'll have to work that out with Donnie, because I'll need rock, but we gotta get a fence built first, and this vendor is scheduling currently. He wants to do the work while he's already down here in July and August, doing a big project for Jasper schools. And I told him he probably is scheduling that far out anyway, that's fine. And he'll try to work it in. He said it'll take him about 2 days. And that'll give time for me to seek monies from county council to fund the project, but
And for the record, the low bid was what amount, and the high bid was what amount, just so we know
the
what
low-
the range was.
the low was $4,366.74, not counting what expenses we would incur for the
4,000.
materials. $4,366
Okay.
and 74 cents. I'm not gonna have the high bidder amount. The
It
next
was over
bidder,
2 times higher, wasn't it?
one of them was over 2 times higher with the landscaping work. The other one was $300 to $500 higher, but that vendor was not as responsive as what I would have liked, and it concerned me. If I have a hard time getting the quote, I'm concerned that I would have a hard time getting the project completed. So
I favor moving forward for, if nothing else, for the risk mitigation. That I had to look at a worst case scenario that some kid and his buddy, I know some kids that when they were teenagers may have thought this was a fine idea to walk up there, all right, let's see how high we can climb, let's check it out. And then someone gets hurt or gets stuck or whatever. They could go to court and say, well, they didn't really try to stop us. It was, if there's a fence around it and you've got to take that extra effort to do it, even a child would understand that when there's a fence around something, that means somebody's trying to keep you from it.
it is the norm at nearly every communications site that I've ever seen. I'm not saying there are not unfenced towers, because there are some out there. But, and then, I know there was some initial discussion when we talked, when Chad and I talked about this. It would be pretty brazen to go to the jail complex and damage property, or it's so publicly accessible where it's at. And, while I was back there getting this quote, some guys just ride his bicycle through for exercise. Like, there's nothing to keep the public from that area of the complex.
And that's on the road runs right up to it.
Sure does,
Back.
yeah.
I'd be okay with him moving forward if the council will find some way to give him some funds.
Did you make a motion to that effect?
No, I didn't, but I'm just saying, I'm just speaking in general in case.
I would be on board as well.
I think we have to do our due diligence to keep it out.
Right, I agree.
So I think what I always ask is, how you gonna pay for it? And you said you'd look into something and that there was no way to do that. So
Yeah, I did look at the possibility of utilizing our state surcharge dollars, and consulted with the state because it wasn't specifically spelled out if this was an allowable expense or not, and it is not an allowable expense is what I found. So the two options are a repairs and maintenance line item that's built into my budget, that there is a certain amount of cushion and leeway built, but it is April, and if I would support this with those dollars, I'm gonna have no money available for the rest of the year. I've got two computers that need replacing in the building, and that's the line item that those would be for. It would negate replacing 5-year-old computers if I were to pay for this project. So it would be something that I have to ask for the money from the council, from an addition, from some funding source. I don't have enough built into my budget to be able to do this comfortably now. If it was November and we were talking about this, or December, and I know, hey, we're probably pretty good, and we've been able to save $5,000 on this line item, I would feel differently. But I'm not. If I spend that money, I'm just going to be coming back to the council and asking for additional funds for that line item.
the way I would approach it was contact the council president probably and say, and then contact this person. If you need that money, we can't really sign an agreement until you have the money available. If you need to use your money now, just make sure the council is aware that you'll be coming to ask for a replacement.
Well, in speaking with Sandy, she, and I did share that email that went out that had the quotes. I shared that with the council as well, so they're not going to be caught off guard. I'm hoping to be able to speak with them in short order because I really want to I'd like to get the contract in place because, we're already talking July or August. Well, I don't want it to be November or weather goes bad and, all of a sudden we're another year out when probably we should have had this 8 months ago. Or we probably should have had it 2 years ago when the tower was moved. But it's hindsight and sometimes you just find those things, so.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve and support the tower fence that's been presented here, and we allow Mr. Wilson to move forward to the county council for funding.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Ms. Eckerly? Good morning.
That's not a crowd around.
Gosh.
I'm Corey Eckerly with the Strauss Fest Committee, and I came to request some permissions for property use around the courthouse square. I emailed Sandy. Have you guys received a copy of that email
I did.
for request? Okay, so you're aware of my request. I will just go through my email as listed. It's probably not chronological, but it's as close as I can get at this time. Strawson Fest is July 31 through August 3rd this year, but we will need some time prior to and after for setup and tear down. The first, and I think earliest, would be setup of the sound booth, which goes on the east side of the courthouse square, right outside the monument here. It just takes up some corner of the sidewalk, but there should still be complete access to the courthouse. That would be set up July 29th and removed no later than August 4th. I believe that's by Jasper Lumber. Use of the courthouse steps, this would be after hours for the celebration singers to perform on Thursday, August 31st, or July 31st for opening ceremonies. They perform at 5:45, but they need a little time before and after for setup and tear down. Adding the German flag themed banners to the 4 entrances of the courthouse, that would be done by the city fire department. I need to follow up with Chief Hoaxane, but I think it's about a week before and then shortly thereafter. Changing the LED lights to festive red and yellow, again for about a week. Decorating the that's the west balcony in front of the fountain. We've done greenery before on that. Use of the bathrooms below the courthouse during non-business hours. Use of, it's not the lawn, but it is that side, kind of like that bumper that goes around the courthouse for information tents. These are non-profit and they do not sell anything. And then we choose to plan to protect the fountain area by doing some stanchions and just saying that this is a site of remembrance, so please stay off. So these are my requests. Any questions? I believe it's all as in years past.
So the things that you have blocked off, that's the fountain area you said? And then we do have a new monument this year too, so just.
Right, would you like us to stanchion off around that as well?
Yes.
Sure.
So I'm in favor of this pending, the restrooms are the only thing that would be a question if they would have to work with our custodian for that. So I would say if we would approve it based on that coming to an agreement with Mr. Hope. So that's
Yes,
only fair.
We do plan to seek him on an outside contract.
Yes.
to work with him.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve all of the requests of the Strawson Fest Committee for the dates and times presented. The only thing we have is the restroom use has to be worked out with our custodian.
Would you like a copy of that contract once that's
Nope.
done, or you
No,
trust
just
that?
if there's an issue with Mr. Hope or with you guys, either of you can come and talk to us.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve that scenario. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Every day.
Thanks, Carter.
So did you end up finding anything on that road situation?
I did, but it's more like littering way small. like environmental stuff, which grass can't fall into that category.
I mean, it would be common sense that anybody that puts some risky material that causes damage to someone else on the property, there's a rule against doing that.
The statute's directed towards the environment or public works, treatment facilities, things like that. But again, the road counts for that.
Hear that? The person can't very well put a log across the road, right? Or a piece of concrete. So, I'm glad we addressed it again and we looked at it. I think we all have a better understanding of where that. So 9:30, we have Mr. Warner is going to be here to talk about a dilapidated building complaints and health department annual report. We're not quite there yet. You have a resolution for.
Well, I'm gonna change numbers on you.
Okay.
2025-02 is a resolution for the application for them to do a grant application.
So this is something we've done in the past as well. This is for what Ride Solutions, right, is what it's better known as. Four Rivers Resource Services, DSI Services, Southern Indiana Resource Services Incorporated. Basically, we signed this for them and there's some rural transit services that they can go for grants. That says, they make grants for the state of Indiana. NDOT makes grants available for public transportation projects. And then the Board of DuBois County Commissioners will say that we designate the following nonprofit organizations to coordinate rural public transit services, not that being the one that I said stated earlier. So I'll make a motion that we approve signing this document to give our support.
Second.
I guess actually it's not giving support as much as it is authorizing the filing of their application for grant. So I'll also just second that one as well. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
I have one for you, just one thing.
Thank you. I still have written down SWCD contingency plan from the last meeting, or there's something in this, I don't know if
Well, I
I
didn't
think they
know
were
if
supposed to.
they were supposed to come back in
From
4-H, and then I didn't know, you said just put it on here for a few minutes, so.
Has
I
anybody heard
haven't even
anything
worked
from
with the
them?
4-H council, and. I mean, because you didn't approve it.
Right. Okay, so we'll just cross that off unless somebody has something to say for it. I think we'll have to have that directed by them. Here's an unusual piece of information to bring up. So when we had some bad storms, several, it looks like it's been 2 months ago now. There's historically been a bird on top of the courthouse with a directional sign, you know, like a wind vane, or what do you call that? Is it a wind vane? Weather vane, that's what it was. And so it's, and here it is. So it got blown off and it broke into a couple pieces, and one of them was in a ditch, or not a ditch, in a gutter, and another one was, it's kind of a unique item. I don't know if it's been up here since construction or not. Scott said, what would you like me to do with it? We can
Well, where's his wing?
find a way, there's another wing in there.
It's in the box.
Yeah, there's, as he stands, he's gonna fly in one direction. But here's the remainder of it. So Scott said, what do you wanna do? We've got some people coming up, and I said, bring this over, we'll look at it, see what we wanna do about it, and, so for now, what they did was they went up and they capped wherever this thing was, the holder was there. We had the staff there, said, just go ahead and cap it. We can decide if we want to do something with this or not. Anybody have any thoughts or feelings on
How long
this?
has it been there?
I bet you it's been there from the beginning of
I
time.
bet it has been. I bet it has.
I don't know for sure, but
Hate to give that up.
I agree.
I think the highway should fix it.
After May 2nd, they can.
They're about to place it with something.
You have to
similar.
engineer it and then fix it.
So, do we want, I guess, so if he came back and they said, yeah, we can do that for $20,000, is that something we're interested in doing? Is it something, if it's 5,000, I mean, I guess there's some point where we're gonna say, it's not working.
Yeah, what's the breaking point?
Yeah. But I love the idea at the end.
If you have somebody doing metal work, you
Yeah.
have somebody being in a very high risk situation, being on a roof, the
Yeah,
highest
I know.
point of the courthouse, those are things that are, they take time, they take risks, they take a
I'm
certain
gonna
amount of.
send them out.
And if they could fix it, and then we could get it put back up there.
I think it would be great. That's my opinion.
Did you know it was there, or did you know it was missing? That's the other thing.
I
It's
didn't
been
know it was
gone-
there.
it's been gone for
Now that I know, it
Sure.
really bothers me.
Yes, that's right.
This is true.
I don't want to speak for Scott because he's not here. I'm not positive this is his thought, but I think his thought was, let's just cap it and move on. You don't want another hole in your roof. But it's up to us, so I guess we could ask him, hey, talk to Helming. Helming's probably, I would assume, would be the ones that would be, if one, if find somebody that could do the metal work, two, would be the ones that would put it back on. Do you want him to look at getting a cost?
I do.
Let's just do it, yeah. At least then we'll have an idea. And I hate to say my breaking point's X number of dollars, because if I were Helming and I saw this meeting, I'd be like, well, I'm $1 less than that.
I guess I'm sentimental about things, but I always knew there was something up there. I didn't know what it was. I just saw that there was a weird shape. So, it's not gonna break my heart if it's up there or if it's not up there, but,
I'd like to see it back up, but
okay.
we're
Well,
researching. Back to your other question about the 4-H. They are on the county council's agenda for April 28th. And then the county commissioners on May 5th at 8:30.
okay, so they're
For an
coming back,
update on the swine farm. That's what that pertains.
Yes.
oh,
Okay.
but not for, I thought this contingency plan was if they lose funding, they get kicked
Well,
out.
that's, the solid water needs to be coming back saying they got permission or didn't get permission to use a building out there. Because you guys can't really give them permission, you've leased them, and so they have to get it from them. So I don't know where they're at on
They were supposed to get a hold of Chad, I
that,
thought,
so.
and discuss
But in order
that.
for you to pass a
Chad-
contingency plan, they need to follow their
Right, right.
steps.
And that's where it was left after the meeting, so I'm hoping that they,
There's nothing for us to do right now.
no, there's not, because they have to contact them. Chad and, because they reached out to me. Decision.
Mr. Warren, want to come on up? Sure. It's time for, to talk about dilapidated building complaint on the health department annual report. So this is, I'll just let you lead it, let's see where it goes.
Sean Warner, DuBois County Health Department. This is Christina Perini. She's our environmental health specialist. She's been working with Mr. Slotman. I think she can kind of go through all the steps that we've done, and then I guess we can let him come up and voice what he's gonna do in the future, so.
So in October, we received a formal complaint on Mr. Slotman's building, in DuBois, that it was, needed to be looked into as an unsafe building. That's when Sean and I went out there and did a visual inspection of the facility and saw that the roof was collapsed in.
And the address? I know we have it in their complaint, but I just. for the record.
Sorry, 5398 East Main Street, DuBois, 47527.
Thank you.
We made contact with Mr. Slotman because we actually had this address as a previous complaint in 2019. So we had already had information gathered about him so that we could contact him. We met with him out at the facility, had a conversation with him. We gave him pretty much 30 days to see if he could do some work to it. There was a lot of issues with the weather between October, well, you guys know in December that there was a lot of snow and weather issues. So Sean and I talked a lot about continuing to prolong his deadline so that he had more time to get to it. We then had those storms, the bad storms, and that brought down the side of the building even more. I don't know what side of the building you call that.
That would be probably the east side.
East side.
Was knocked off by the wind, fell into the street. I think there was a call to dispatch, and I think some officers responded and maybe moved the bricks out of the road.
Mhm. So the building at this point is in worse shape than it was when we received the first complaint. It's even more unsafe. We met with Mr. Slotin, he was April 1st, and discussed with him that the next step would be bringing this to you guys' attention to see what our next steps would be. So that's kind of where we're at. Mr. Slotin's here, if you want to ask any questions.
So I think, I'm going from memory, I read this previously. You had asked to meet with not a home, I guess, what is it, commercial property, is that what you call it? The commercial properties, you do an internal inspection, was that one of the requests?
I think that might be are we getting that one confused with the Hayesville one?
So
We,
in 19, we did an internal inspection so there's the main building
Yes.
is in decent structural integrity. In 2019, the back portion was an addition, was the culprit of the problem, because the roof was leaking and some of it was starting to get dilapidated. At that point in time, he put up scaffolding, hired somebody to put on a new roof. He did enough just to secure it, and then I think, in the past 3 years, it's just even further deteriorated, and now it's got into the portion where it's just not salvageable anymore. And we had given him time to pull the back section off and keep the front portion, was his intent. But we just haven't got anywhere on any progress.
these are pictures of
So
where the building
Are
looks
you
now.
thinking that, I guess the north part, the original part, would be north?
Yeah.
Where the entrance is on the corner?
Yes,
Are you saying that that's not what the complaint is on, it's still on the back part where the
It's the
wall is
addition.
bowing, the wall is falling apart?
yes, it's the addition. I mean, if he pulls the addition off and finds the other part is not salvageable either, then we might have a whole other problem. But he assured us that he would pull the back part off, shore up the main building and keep that. But I know he can speak what his future plans are now. They may have changed, I'm not sure.
Did you provide with the, I know you said, I kind of understand the timeline and the weather and the winter, so
Mhm.
now that we are where we are,
Mhm.
have you provided a deadline of when the work needs to be done?
Well, we met with him, was it
April 1st.
April 1st, and said that you're coming to this meeting on the 21st. If you get it all done and tell us it's cleaned up, then we cancel this meeting.
Or sign a contract
Or
with
sign
somebody
a contract with
that's,
somebody
to
that's
get
gonna,
work done,
yeah.
and then we'll just cancel the meeting. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. I went out to the property today and it has not been changed since we met on the 1st.
There's still rock in the, is it Brent and the Highway Department, do we have any right of way on, what is that side street?
That would be Second.
So we have Main Street going in front and Second Street going on the side. So there's all kinds of debris, rock, concrete things.
Mortar and bricks.
Is that in a right of way or is that in his property?
I have not looked at it, so I don't know.
Not sure.
I know we have, it's a lot of towns, we have right away there, but how far it is out from there, I don't know.
This is the street we're talking about right here. Somebody pushed the brick back off the road.
Independent of this complaint, I have had, I just wanted for the
It's the south
board's
side of
benefit,
Main.
I had another
Yes.
homeowner or a person that lives in the area call me and say, hey, there's a problem, this is falling apart and whatever. And I said, well, we're having a meeting, we're talking about it on
Who owns them?
Monday, so they were satisfied with that, that something would be done. So it is something that people are noticing.
Yeah, I went out there today and there was 2 people that were very concerned about the area as well.
So this, Mr. Sheriff, from your side, this isn't a formal hearing, is it? I mean, I guess normally I thought that we had,
I think that there was an order asking him to bring the matter into compliance. I think here was kind of a status hearing to see where he's at or what his plans are to do going forward. And what the board, I guess, is wanting him to do and possibly setting a deadline for that to get done. Somewhat. I don't know if that's your notice.
It'll definitely be posted.
So I guess what,
If it's not
we don't have a bunch of
It
these
might
that
be.
we have, property complaints, weed violations, we don't have a lot of these meetings, that's why it's not real common for me to know how to run it. So, but as far as you're concerned, we don't need to have a separate meeting, we don't have to have a separate advertisement for, to manage a complaint and
No.
take action, okay. Ms. Fun, you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes.
Okay.
I have worked with Sean and Christina, and they have been very nice and being very upfront and letting me know and giving me ample amounts of time. So we thought, and then with weather and whatnot. At this point, being humbled because I am not the carpenter nor the young individual that I used to be, that I thought I would be capable of taking care of this on my own, myself. I have reached out to 3 contractors to get a bid. I had one bid, but it was way outside the scope of what I can pay. And then I have 2 other options. I believe Sean has let me know that there was 2 people that have contacted him that would be interested in purchasing the property. And that sounds like it might be where I'm at.
Okay. What is the ballpark for cleaning it up? What do you think is reasonable? What do you think that the market actually is? I mean, because what's going to be needed? I mean, you have to have a machine come in and pull it off, or are the 2 buildings connected? Are they
The
separate?
2 buildings are from, as of now, they are not really connected. I mean, they are completely,
They touch.
basically, they touch, yes. So it was an add-on. The back of the main building is with the main structure, the original bank building that was there. And then they had added on in a fashion to and attached to the back of that.
What is your desire as of today? Or what you're telling us, you're considering selling the property and you're still considering removing it?
Correct. My overall desire, because it was a passion that I took on years ago, and I have, with life and everything, had to set it to the waist, to the side for a little while. My overall goal is I would love to see the building refinished. And then I have to meet that with reality as well. So, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how long it would take for a contractor to clean it out, that back section. But I would think 30 days is, most construction I think could ever be done in 30 days.
Why is there a tractor on or I don't know what kind of.
That's my backhoe that I had purchased to start tearing down. The wall that actually ended up coming down in the storm was part of the section that needed to come down to alleviate the safety issues.
The machine doesn't work well enough to make it work.
That and maybe it's operated.
We could have used
So
her.
when you take it down, are you removing the debris?
Yes, the debris, all the debris needs to be some can be reused, but yes, most of it needs to be removed and disposed of.
Okay. Any other comments you'd like to make? Okay. Then we can have you have a seat again if you don't mind. So, you want to, or Sean, I don't know which one of you wants to, what is the position of for you as the, I guess, the department in charge of this kind of thing, unsafe buildings? What is your recommendation?
Well, I feel like we've given him ample time. It needs to be removed, I mean, as soon as possible, because if we're continuing to get complaints on it, it's not safe. If somebody comes through there and gets off the road a foot and blows a tire and runs into a building and hurts himself, then, I mean, who's liable? I don't know. So it needs to be done now, like within a couple weeks, or probably no longer than a month. I don't know who it was, the guy that you contacted, was he available? I mean, a lot of these contractors could be months out, but we were hoping that he was lining this up, you know, while we were giving him time, but I don't know what portion he's at.
So when did you ask for contractors? Just within the last, since April 1st?
Since April 1st.
Okay, so you've had 5 months total from the first contact to start to remedy this, and that hasn't happened. So that's an issue.
And we did grant him that extension because a lot of the winter there was snow on the ground. I mean, it was just freezing cold. It was hard to work in.
No way.
But once spring broke, you know, we felt like he had ample time to get it done. And really, I don't think anything has left the property. I mean, if he would have started making progress, hauling a load off every couple of days, and we've seen stuff disappearing, we probably would have extended it, but nothing's really been done.
I mean, heck, even, I'm a limited skill person myself as far as but taking one brick at a time and putting it in a pile behind the building to make it not in the.
Well, he's got a trailer there. I mean, he take it to the landfill and pay per ton to get rid of it, but at that point, we're done already too late for that, because that's gonna take him probably months to do it by himself.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm ready to move forward with doing something to remedy it sooner than later, but I'll hear from the other board members.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. I feel like maybe if you came back in 2 weeks with a contract to take it down, I would be satisfied with that. Now, that being said, I don't want to see a contract to take it down in 8 months. I'd like to see a contract to take it down in the next month or two at the most. I think 2 is really stretching. So I think that's where I'd be. If you want to sell it, that's fine. I don't want to force you into that before you've had a chance, you know, to pull it down. But again, I think if he came back with a contract in 2 weeks, that somebody's going to tear it down in a month, I would be satisfied with that.
Okay, so if, at our next meeting, whatever that is, May 3rd or something, we'll say. He comes back in, he's got a purchase agreement that says Susie Smith is gonna buy it, Susie's gonna be taking care of business, it's gonna close in 30 days, that would be satisfactory. Number 2.
I think if that were the case though too, Susie Smith better have a contract that says it's gonna come down.
Right.
Not that it just gets to the next owner.
Or number 2, he has a contract with Bill's construction company who's gonna haul this crap away, right? So both of those things get some action done. We would hope either, we have a plan in 2 weeks.
Right.
That it will get done in a month from those 2 weeks. Does that sound satisfactory?
I think that's fair.
So 6 or 8, 6, 7 weeks. And what do you think, Commissioner?
I agree. I think a solid contract with someone to dispose of all this, tear it down, dispose all of it, everything gone. Do you have a plan for the backhoe? As far as what you're gonna do with it?
It can be removed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I agree. I think that's where we're at. But if someone does purchase it, that, you know, this needs to be torn down and gotten rid of. So, it needs to be cleaned up, definitely.
So what a purchase agreement is generally a memo
Yeah.
section. You could put it in the memo section.
Yeah.
You probably have to disclose that there's a pending, it's under review by a county organization, and that the person knows that this is required, it has to be taken care of. Mr. Ward, would that be satisfactory to the health department and for best public safety? I mean, is that maybe our best?
I mean, we always try to work with homeowners and owners as best as possible. We don't ever want to get to this point, but I think that would be reasonable. The only other thing that I worry about is if you have a contract to tear the back portion down, somebody's also going to pay to shore the backside of that old building up, because there's probably going to be some type of hole there, or unless there's a doorway or something. And then the other problem is you're going to have a hole with probably a 10-foot drop, because there's a basin in this back portion. So you can't just have a door and walk out and somebody drop 10 feet. So there's gonna have to be something done on the backside too, to make that, unless he closes that door up and just makes that the backside of the building, breaks it shut, or.
I mean, so if there's a hole, if there's a basement, couldn't you implode the thing and just let the rock? Because I'm thinking of, the wood products building, everything that they did there, they basically took a lot of the concrete, they buried it right next to it. I don't know if that's legal or environmental. I would assume that they had appropriate staff to bury concrete.
I don't know how old this building is, if it has asbestos in it or anything like that, that's another, if the contractor gets hired, they're gonna have to be responsible for that as well. I don't know what all is in there insulation wise. We didn't, get into thoroughly inspect it because we didn't feel safe even going into that road.
Is there two back walls? Like, so the new section, are there two separate walls there?
The way it is, the original bank building has an 18-inch brick wall, solid brick. And then the portion that they added to that is like a somehow fired off, like I want to say a 6-inch brick that they used. And then they just mortared directly up to the back of the original building.
Okay.
So once that section, the second section is removed, it just leaves the original bank building by itself.
Mr. Schneider, first, from your standpoint, if
So
we go forward in the way that we've been talking about, giving him basically 2 weeks, get a contract, get a purchase agreement. If that doesn't pan out, what is the length of time that we can take action to just remedy the situation ourselves?
So if he doesn't have that in place, then at that hearing, we can make a determination if we're gonna remedy it for him and bill him for that and assess that to his property taxes.
That's the way I am.
Right, we would send him a bill. If he doesn't pay the bill, then it would be a lien.
But it's also.
How fast does that happen? Are you aware of how fast?
I'm not aware, but I would say probably 30 days, we can make those arrangements, but we'd have to start figuring out who our contractor would be at that point. To bid it ourselves.
Let's just say that we had a contractor immediately, can we do the work immediately?
If he's unable to take care of it.
Right, so 2 weeks, he comes in, he says, I got no he doesn't show, or I don't have a purchase agreement, and I don't have a contractor. We can make a determination that we're gonna order the work done, and it can be done at any time thereafter. Is that your?
And then we bill him for it, yeah. I'd want to confirm that before our next meeting there on May 5th.
Okay. So I think I'd be comfortable with that being our order.
We're not asking, I want to, so you're talking about getting all that stuff in place, but if there's stuff currently that involves the right of way, that can't wait until May 5th. You need to get that out of there now. That's not wait for somebody to come in and square that out because that's impacting the right of way and vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic. I think that's something that happens for me. It's been asked to get done, it's not been done. It's all been asked to get done, so you need to have something in place by May 5th for the whole project. But these small things that are possibly in the right of way, you have to remedy those right away, would be my thought.
Mr. Legan, do you have an idea now about right away? You have to go look at it.
I gotta look, it looks like it's right there. I mean, if there's debris, based on the GIS map, which the GIS map can go 5 feet either way, where the lines are. But if the debris is laying on the edge of the building, then it's in the right of way.
It's the edge of the road, right? Yeah.
So here's the asphalt stops here, his stuff is right next to it. You're saying
It's in the right of way.
we definitely have a right of way of at least several feet.
Yeah.
So that stuff needs to be remedied, taken care of there today.
Probably anything between the building and the road, correct?
Correct.
So there's quite a bit of material there.
That would be in fact another violation of county ordinances, of being in the right of way for the county roadways. That needs to be remedied.
Who does that? Mr. Stoughton?
Yes.
So
You're also gonna have a hole there if he removes that debris too, that's gonna have to be filled in. Because otherwise you're just gonna have, because there is a basement, is there a basement in the bank building or the old part or just the addition?
Just the addition.
no, I'm saying right now, from what the pictures look like, there's road, there's brick,
Yeah,
and then there's a building.
Yeah.
The junk between the building and there needs to be, at least at a minimum, put in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then the other things, as we've talked
But
about.
I'm saying if he hires a contractor to remove all that stuff and they remove the back portion of that building and clean all that hole out, there's gonna be a hole there that he's gonna have to fill in, because otherwise it's gonna be a pond, or you're gonna have a mosquito pit.
Right, that'll be another.
Yeah.
I think maybe some, like you said, maybe some of the brick could be used to fill it in. Again, sorry, you're gonna have to get a little bit of topsoil in there to skim it, cover it, but.
Yeah.
I agree, the whole, just leave the hole there.
Okay, so I'll just try to say this as formally as possible so that we can have something in the minutes. My motion is to enforce the following. The building needs to be brought into compliance. To that end, before our next meeting on the 5th, we need to either have a purchase agreement in place with someone that will purchase the property from the current owner and remedy it. Number 2, we have to have either a contractor in place that can get the work done within the next 6 weeks from today. So they would have approximately a month from our May 5th meeting. So one of those 2 actions has to take to get the property in order, and then as of immediately today, the items in the right of way, you can work with the highway department to find out exactly what that means. Would be to remove all of the items out of the right of way. Does that sound like what we've discussed?
Yes.
So my motion is to order that to be done today.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
Any other discussion from the health department? Any other discussion from Mr. Sloan? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So we will have you on the agenda for the May 5th at
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. And hopefully we have some update or remedy
That
by
might
then.
go back to.
And we won't really care what the weather is like between now and then, right? It's gonna be.
That might,
So,
that might go back
thank you.
to Sean too.
Thank you.
And then you have a health report you want to share with us?
Thanks, Rob.
So this may have to go.
Just the usual report that we always share with commissioners. I don't know if you just wanna read through it, or do you want me to go through it just real quick, page by page, or if you wanna just read it, if you have any questions, let me know, it's
Want to
whatever.
read it to us?
Yeah.
You got all day.
They never have me reading on.
There's the councils.
As far as the board, I would say if we want Mr. Warner to give us a highlight, if there's something that he wants to make public, that'd be great. Otherwise, we can have him back in if we want to review it over the next couple of weeks and have him in if there's something to discuss. That sounds good?
So I'll just go through real quick, page by page, what it is, and then if you have questions on it, you can reach out to me or whatever you feel like you want to do. So the first page, obviously, the cover page. The second 2 pages, organizational chart, kind of just gives the breakdown of who reports to who. And then the third page is the board and then the staff members that we had. And this is in 2024.
How can you tell us how's your staffing? Are you fully staffed at the moment? Or are you
Right now,
hiring?
we're fully staffed, yes. Yeah. Moving on to the financial report, the top 3 sections there are the actual health fund, where majority of our revenue and expenses come from. And then that 4th paragraph there is all the other funds that we currently have. The bottom is just the taxes. Then the next sheet is just a little bit more of a clear, concise breakdown of each fund that we have. Some of those might not make sense because they run from June to July, so that we switch between funds to keep it cleaner. So some of them we might end the year in a negative, but then the next year the funds come in and that makes it up. So a little bit confusing on that part, but
They're reimbursable, right?
yeah.
Have you heard any, I know the Commissioners Association has been pushing to continue the funding for the health departments. Is any of that reflected in here? Or anything that you'd like to talk about?
We won't know that until legislation votes in, I think think it's the end of April. So
Well, it's supposed to be the end of this week.
end of this week, yeah, so close to the end of
Thursday.
April. Yeah. We really don't know what's gonna happen. We hope that it continue. I think it'll continue in some form, but I believe there's very high potentials of cuts.
So the ask, I think, is for $100 million of funding that would be divided among the 92 counties.
This year, we currently have 150 million divided by between 92 counties, so 30-some% cut, that's gonna probably equate to ballpark of $250,000 we're gonna lose if that's what they pass.
The thing that's frustrating about it is they push this out as a big state changing direction for our health and our health outcomes.
Yeah.
And then to just, pulling it back.
Yeah. Well, the other part is it's, in my opinion, it's gonna make us look a little bit bad and not our fault, but we've 2 years, we've built all these programs, hired, staff to do all these different things to try to promote public health and get our population healthier. We've invested time, money, effort into press releases to the public to maybe start coming to us for these programs. And say, we ran out of money, we were just kidding, we're gonna do it for 1 year. So hopefully the public can understand that. And we're still gonna, try to, be as creative with our budget as possible to make a lot of these programs still continue. It may look a little different, you may not, quite as great services or as many services, but we're definitely gonna try to continue to move forward and do our best.
So from what you know of the situation, what's the worst case scenario that could happen? Zero funding? I mean, is that on the table or is there still?
I would be very shocked if it goes to zero. I mean,
you're thinking the 50 million cut would probably be worth
$250,000 cut.
Right, but from
50 million total, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they have in the budget as of the last go around that I saw. But there's billions of dollars in cuts I think that they're going to have to make, so it's going to have to come from a little here, a little there, and a little everywhere. And then obviously, we have the education room now that it's been a huge success for us, and we have people are using it all the time. We're constantly creating new trainings. Partners are starting to use it, so that's another really great addition to the health department that fortunately, 911 moved to the jail, which I think they're happy where they're at now, and we've very much utilized that space, hopefully to its fullest potential. So, all right, moving on. Next is kind of just the department reports. So environmental, that gives the breakdown of all the fees we collected, and then the bottom is just kind of what we did at each, like food inspections, septic inspections, just gives the basic numbers of what we did in the year. And at the bottom, those complaints could be a little deceiving. Those are the ones we only register and respond to. We get probably hundreds of phone calls that we remedy over the phone. We talk them through it. We don't necessarily get a formal complaint. So there's a lot more that goes on. It's complaint-wise that we deal with on the phone rather than formal complaints like what we did today or septic complaints we mail out letters to. So just wanted to clarify that. And then the next sheet is vital records.
Go back to environmental, please.
Okay.
On the number one, the first question is how many repairs did the health department issue? What does that mean?
Septic repairs.
That would be when you go out, you said it's failing, and you tell them they must repair.
That, and also you have a home, it's failing, eventually you're going to pass away. You don't want to leave it to your kids. So you, being a good guy you are, you come to the health care and say, I want to update the system so my kids don't have to deal with it. That happens quite a bit too. The elderly population realized that they didn't want to leave their kids with a $20,000 lump on their head, so they fix the system themselves before the house is transferred to the children, or maybe their system's backing up in their house. They can't flush their toilets anymore. Then you have to do something. So that a lot of the repairs come that way too.
So that you probably have it listed somewhere else that we have this many new installs this year was X, and then this would be one where people did fix or upgrade.
So the repairs would be a portion of all the permits issued. Let's see. So the total number, the inspections, new systems was 126. So that portion of 14 would come out of there.
14 of 126, okay.
That's inspections probably in addition to all those lumped in together.
Sounds good.
Good.
We good to move on to vital records? Okay.
So vital records, again, the top chart is just from our secret program, what we took in for each one of those categories. And then the bottom just gives you your number of home births and deaths in the county for 2024. Next is immunizations.
The
Again,
births, does that necessarily mean they live in Du Bois County or just births that happen in
They
the
were-
hospital?
born in Du Bois County. Yeah. Then moving on to immunizations, again, the top chart is just out of the receipt program, and then the bottom is some home health stuff, some visits that they do, and then travel, those types of things, TB.
So almost 16,000 vaccinations were given?
So yeah, if you move to the next page, that gives a breakdown per month. So in 2024, there was 15,717 vaccinations given to 9,935 patients. So that's down from the past couple of years, but that was kind of skewed because of COVID. That 1 year COVID hit, we did 30-some thousand in one year, so it was a busy year for us. The next is just some basic, like other fees, donations, some interest from checking and savings and money market. And then the preparedness report, front and back, 2 pages, that just gives what we have to do in order to receive our money for those deliverables. That basically these are deliverables that we have to comply with in order to get the preparedness funding, which is $25,000 a year. And then getting into our newer services, the Pre-to-3 program that just gives a breakdown of their home visits and screenings and education and stuff that they provide, gives numbers. And then the final page is the chronic disease, trauma injury prevention. So those last 2 pages are all HFI funded. It's kind of what we did in 2024 was, again, a building year. So a lot of the staff was still going through training and education. So we look for hopefully those numbers to rise in 2025 because we were fully staffed at the beginning of 2025 and had a lot of those programs ready to go. And we're still developing, new programs each day. So that's basically it. Unless you have more questions.
I thought you had a program where when you gave out helmets, was that this year?
Yeah,
It's
so
2 year, but you did.
So we didn't do any of those in 2024, so it's not going to show up in this report. But we did ATV safety training with partnering with the DNR. So they came to our education room twice. Both those classes filled up like in 3 days. We limited to 30 because when you get more than 30 kids in a room, it's a little chaotic. But we handed out, I think, 61 helmets, goggles, and gloves at each one of those trainings. So it was about an hour and a half, probably closer to 2 hours by the time we got the kids fitted to their exact size that they need. The DNR went over the safety rules on the road, the requirements of the helmet, the needs of wearing the helmet, why, and all those types of things. And then I think we're trying to get another one in June because there's still a demand. People are wanting that education for their kids because there's still a lot of children out there riding ATVs and 4-wheelers without helmets, and it's proven helmets save lives. So that's what we're trying to do is cut down on the trauma and injury from those accidents.
That's great. I was gonna say, when I saw that there were just 2 handed out here, or on
So those are probably at our health fair. We gave away as kind of like an incentive door prize to get people there. But yeah, 2025, you'll see that number go up.
Excellent. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Foreman? Excellent, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Anybody need a break? Are we still good to keep rolling?
I don't know.
Okay, Rick. Couple minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm freaking out.
To turn it down to 6.
I did not.
Exactly.
I don't remember what we set this to, but it's cold in here, am I right?
It's usually like 70 or 60.
Okay, I set 70 for the county.
Did you have those,
And I'm gonna turn it up and ask if that makes sense.
you have those checks over at.
Everything's over there waiting for you.
That
They have a on the counter, it's got 2 checks in it, it's got a title for the, everything's over.
Oh, so there is a title for the.
It came in, I told you, it came the other day. I sent you a text.
Okay, I got the one title.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly, it
Exactly.
came the other day, and it's sitting over there, and
Oh.
it's in there.
I
And
missed
the 2
that.
checks, it's like, oh, 2 checks, and you're gonna do all.
Okay, I probably just saw the 2 checks.
No, the title's on the one side, the checks are the other.
Excellent, perfect, okay, that'll be the rest of my day, I guess.
That's a lot of other things, I guess.
That's one thing. It wasn't
Okay, well, I just wanted to verify.
Yeah. It's just a simple fix, really.
Okay.
I think moving forward.
So good.
Thank you.
Why you came in and by right now?
I know.
Sandy, I sent you a text of wireless Bluetooth microphones.
Oh, okay.
Plug into this port right here. And then you have one there, you have one here. And they're supposed to be dual audio, so you can do that.
Well, I wonder too about actually mounting. Spot all the time.
I know, but you.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying. $1,000 versus $400, there's gotta be something in the middle.
Now, I do have to say, we're probably gonna have to replace this right here.
And I mean, all that stuff's part of it, and the $20,000 one probably came.
I mean, you're talking 1,200, 1,800 maybe.
And that camera was a good quality camera, but it was not even close to it was just a webcam, is all it was.
That's meant to be.
We just didn't go high end.
We didn't want to spend more than
Right.
that, just.
That's meant to capture the person sitting right in front of it.
And they make one that you can mount and it shoots down, that
So-
does all this, but it has, it wasn't wireless, that one was a wire that I saw would have really good reviews. And it's.
And like I said, this we could
I
move.
think we can figure it out, I guess is what. Less than $20,000.
So you have money for a system.
And
And
especially,
once we redid the thing, we have this ran, but we don't even need it right now.
especially if we're already compliant, right, it doesn't look good for you guys if you're $20,000.
I do want a professional product going out. I don't expect it to look like we had a director in here discourse, but it would be nice onto YouTube. And if I want to watch it in my living room with 5 people sitting around the TV, then I should be able to do that. Our volume should be good enough to do that. The quality should be good enough. I'd love to be able to recognize who's speaking. That's why I really like to have a 2-camera system, but if we can't make that work, we can't make it work.
You were talking about the volume not being able to hear, like with on that new system or that camera, I mean, is it voice activated to where that camera would turn or the volume?
I mean,
The owl is just a center, the camera's all up on top, and then it'll listen, if Nick is talking,
right?
it'll go right to him, and then if the person talks, and
Right,
it's got multiple cameras, the way I understand it, and it'll shoot
right,
there as
that's what
well.
I'm saying, it's kind of almost like voice activated, it goes to whoever.
Because we do a lot of Teams meetings at work. And I'm like, so these Teams meetings, if we could, if ours was set up and we did Teams, and then have that, you know what I mean? That would be a really good scenario, no matter who's talking. We'd have to set something up on our podium, but then no matter who's talking, it would, you can see their face. Understand them, they're speaking into their own mic, all that fun stuff, so.
I know once he's gone, it's gonna be hard for me to do both. Do it during the council
It'd be
meeting.
great to just have a system that you come in and you flip the switch and it's on and.
But, I mean, for this, I can set it up and then I can go, but to actually have to
We
sit
don't
there
wanna
and
make it
maneuver it
overly.
will be more complicated.
Okay, so we're back in session, we ready to go?
Yes.
Orange cream. Would you like to try one? So we're still rolling, correct? Here we go. Our next item.
I do have some surplus, I have 3 chairs at the 40 office. 2 of them are not usable, one he said could possibly be used. He just sent it to me a little bit ago. Yeah.
So we're in that.
No, it's just you.
So how about this, they got 3 chairs, and you hear what she said? That's 40 off of. I'll say that we go ahead and have that declared surplus, but I would still ask him to at least send a photo of the one that is usable, see if anyone else has got use for it. Does that sound good? So- Okay, so I'll make a motion, we declare the 3 chairs from 40 as surplus.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. That's okay. That's the third one, December. Okay, we have small claims. Mr. Madden is here from DuBois County Community.
Morning.
Good morning. Wyatt Madden, with Community Corrections. We're gonna be doing small claims here shortly, and I was in contact with Greg, and he advised that for the plaintiff, rather than have it under DuBois County Community Corrections, that we use DuBois County. Is that correct?
That's correct. The suit would be brought in the name of the county as opposed to a specific department or an alternate board. And I thought that the best approach would be to actually get them.
So you have delinquent people, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
If you could give a minute overview for that. I think I understand what we're doing, but why are we involved in any lawsuits, even in small claims?
When people leave community corrections, our case managers, if they have an outstanding balance, they're set up with a payment plan. Sometimes they don't pay. So within that 6-year, 5.5, 6-year timeframe, we're able to file small claims on these individuals and try to get a plan of action set up for them to pay their past due fees. For 2019 right now, there's a little less than 100. Starting in May, that we'll have to file on. It's kind of a tedious process. You gotta get a master list and then figure out where they live, whether or not they're still alive, and then go through the whole process.
You file the complaint because again, you got a period of time and then basically it allows you to reduce that debt to a judgment, which would give us a longer period to attempt to make collections on those or even pursue other resources to try to collect on those. Every little bit helps. Collection rates aren't typically that high to begin with for small claims cases, but again, we did these probably a couple of years ago and got some of them satisfied.
So these are these all ones that there has been a complaint before and we are renewing because we have to keep it alive? These are all first time?
These are fresh ones, yeah.
Because we went through a process, there's a process involved too, that your collection or your
Trex.
where it's only so long and you have to refile.
Well, and
to keep them
and this
alive.
is the benefit of that. So Trex is the name of your company.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right now they'd be on an account for a period of time, but when it's reduced to judgment, it prolongs it. You get more time on the back end of it.
And that's the same it's a state agency.
Yeah.
That they do the property taxes on, right?
The state.
I think that's who the treasurer uses.
So I think what this will do, if it goes through Trex, and they're supposed to get a state refund of $50 back for the sale for their income tax, the $50 will go to us.
A portion of it will, and then, there's a fee for using the service that gets held for their taxes and everything else, so.
Correct.
Over the last several years, since Mr. Madden's been there, and even a little bit before probably, there's been a renewed interest by the advisory board of Because at one time we had $1 million of outstanding unpaid claims over the course of 15 years that were sitting there. So what we did as a board was wipe off the ones that are uncollectible. Now the ones that are collectible, let's find a path of trying to collect every penny of it that we can. And so that they've been doing a good job of keeping up on that.
I know when they first tried, they met the statute of limitations too. So they had to wipe off some.
So we're following through with that, and again, getting something reduced to judgment allows trucks to continue past that period of time, because the judgment doesn't expire, then I'm having for 10 years.
So
It keeps it alive longer for us.
did I miss, I mean, do you have a lot? Do you, I mean,
It says 100 individuals.
Yeah, for 2025, going back 6 years.
So just for formality's sake, I will make a motion that we support Mr. Madden moving forward in the name of DuBois County with these small claims. Is that about the extent of what we?
In allowing him to do that, and again, he and I have talked, and I'll assist him with it too.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Madden?
No, I believe that's it.
you're supporting use of the Trex program?
No, again, participating in these lawsuits in the name of DuBois County. Anything else you want to share with us about community corrections? Any good news, any bad news?
No, not really. Everything's smooth sailing right now. Fully staffed, so doing well.
Say it out loud.
Is your roof? How's the roof?
Oh, the roof, still have leaks. I think we found the source of the leak, so we're gonna be contacting, that company who put on the new addition. Steve's gonna be contacting them today, have him come back out there, but
Steve doing okay?
Steve's doing great.
Awesome. Okay, so in both of these new structures, well, old and new combined structures, we've had some water issues on both sides. We've had a new coating put on, we've had people out there, and I think the problem is lessening each big rainstorm because they try to fix it. But it's been a frustrating long-term issue.
It's usually around the skylights and then, where the old building butts up against the new expansion, right there. So, we're keeping up on it. It's been almost a 2-year process.
Well, hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wyatt.
Thanks.
Okay, we are at the end of the formal agenda. I think all the discussion items have been met as well. One thing that I think we've talked about it here, but I don't recall with 100% certainty, so I'll bring it up again. So we have opioid funds that come in. We have sending out a newsletter. There's every county in the state is doing things a little bit differently. I think my suggestion was that we put this as part of the comprehensive plan, that we say, what do people want to do with this stuff? Do we want to, or so we can put it within there, and I would guess that their recommendation will be that we make a committee to decide how we spend the money. I would assume that's what will happen. Or we could just make a committee and decide how we want to spend the money. What do y'all? I don't know what the board's opinion is. Or what we could do. So there's a JRAC, that's the Justice Reinvestment Act Committee for local DuBois County. We meet after the Community Corrections Advisory Board meetings. We've had a consultant on board helping us with that. We have Ms. Quinn is helping do that on a part-time basis, keep things organized. And the good thing about that, if we said, we're gonna pass this, here's how much money we have, folks. Give us some idea, or come together with some ideas of what you wanna use it for, right? We could use that or that group, that's already an existing group. And they can tell us what they wanna do with it. The bad thing about that is, the good thing is, it's got judges, sheriff, prosecutor, everybody that's involved in the system is part of that, right? So that's good. What it doesn't have is public and private of thing, so that would be the bad part of it. So I just want to bring it up for a quick discussion. Anybody have any thoughts on that? And I guess another thing that brought it up to my attention was a local guy, sent me a message this weekend. How do I basically say, how do I request a grant from that money? Or how do I, how would that work? My answer to him would be, well, I guess you got a idea, you come in front of the commissioners and we can take it on a case by case basis, and then we can do that.
That's the public to come in.
I don't really have an opinion on it.
Don't have an opinion on it? Commissioner Seth, you have an opinion on it?
No, I don't. Sorry, I'm making myself known too. There was a paperwork that come across our desk at one point in time, and it was kind of like a checklist about the different things that we would like to see in the county. I make myself a note to find that. There was different things that I check marked as far as what I thought was important, that are feedback from the public, what they would like to see in the county and things like that. I'm gonna look for that list, see if I can't find it.
So how about this, if somebody wants to request some funds out of there, and I can invite them to come to this commissioners meeting. Other than that, I can do it as part of the comprehensive plan, so that if we have a group of people, say a steering committee for that can be something that's discussed. I mean, at least it'll be part of the conversation.
Torch.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find that list.
Auditor, you have some items today?
I did place the lights up in the courthouse tower, and when I came down Friday evening, people were sitting around the square waiting for them. I had a lady sitting over here waiting to see him, and I go, ma'am, they're on the west and the north. She goes, I am facing north. I said, no, you're not.
She may have been facing north.
I said, no, you're not. I said, they're in this and that, and they were shining, and people were out here, so it was kind of neat to come out and have people look.
I agree.
Glad to be part of it.
Anything else? Mr. Schneider?
No, sir.
Not here. Mr. Stefano?
I have nothing, I'm good.
Mr. Hosmeyer?
I have the same.
You have twice as much as you?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna just look through my pile one last time. I don't think I have anything additional, but, I think we have the county jail inspection. Did you both look at that? Have a chance to see, or I think you emailed it to us?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have any public or private comments on it. It looks like, from what is on here and what I understand of it, everything has been in compliance and doing well. So appreciate the sheriff's department staff on their work with that. Okay, I think that's it. We'll close the meeting.
We don't have to do anything with that, as far as the three of us.
Tell me when you're finished, you know. Thank you.